In this summary, we'll be looking at scale drawings and maps, which is from Open Up 7th grade Unit 1, Lesson 8. Today's goal: I can use a map and a scale to solve problems about traveling. So, a map with a scale, that helps us estimate the distance between 2 points because we can measure the distance on the map and then use the scale to find what the actual distance is. Let's look at solving some problems related with distance equals rate times time. That's a formula you probably know from science class. Sometimes we say distance equals speed times time. This is really helpful because if you know how long the trip takes, you can calculate the speed by doing distance divided by time. And if you know the speed, you can calculate how long the trip will take by doing distance divided by speed. So let's solve a problem. So assume that you might want to take a spring break to Florida this year, to Orlando. I want to know approximately how long will it take you to drive if your grandma is your driver and her average speed is 40 miles per hour. So let's collect a little bit of data. Here's a map of the United States, and I've marked a line going from State College to Orlando. We want to try to figure out how that distance relates to the little scale shown in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to measure the scale. And using my ruler, I get that approximately 1.6 centimeters represents 300 miles. If I look and measure the line that we have, a line segment that we have here, I get on the map from State College to Orlando is about 5.2 centimeters. So I want to figure out how these two distances compare. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is try to divide 5.2 by 1.6 to figure out what my scale factor is. So when I divide 5.2 by 1.6, I get 3.25. So it looks like the distance from State College to Orlando is about 3.25 times as long as that 300-mile scale on the map. So what I'm going to do is multiply 300 miles by 3.25 to get the actual distance from State College to Orlando. So it looks like if I were going in a straight line, it's going to be about 975 miles. Okay, now we're getting an average here and an approximation, so it's probably okay to use this 975 miles. Of course, if you wanted to round up a little bit, because you know that you're not going to be traveling in a straight line, that might be smart as well. Okay, let's go back to this original question. So now we know a piece of information. We know that it's 975 miles about to get from State College to Orlando. And we know our grandma has an average speed of 40 miles per hour, so I can divide 975 by 40 to get that it's going to take about 24.375 hours to drive. So it's going to take you about one full day to get down to Orlando on your spring break trip if your grandma's the driver. And that's with no breaks. All right, I'd like you to look at a couple questions on your own. So what is the average speed for a 124-mile trip that takes 2 hours at a constant speed? All right, so we're going to do 124 is our distance divided by 2 hours our time is going to get an average speed of 62 miles per hour. Try one more. What is the time it takes for a 35-mile trip at 70 miles per hour? So this one, again, we're going to do distance divided by speed to get time. Our distance is 35 miles. Our speed is 70. So 35 divided by 70, that equals 1/2. So this will take a half hour or 30 minutes. So remember, today's goal: I can use a map and a scale to solve problems about traveling. You'll actually have to do some measuring here, and good luck.